This is An Open Heart by the Dalai Lama, back to front. We are on page 85 and we are beginning to look at the Buddhist concept of emptiness. I don't fully get it, emptiness, but I get it more than most people, but I don't get it like maybe one of the Buddhist Lamas would get it. I can't quite get it. I'm going to read this and hopefully I'll get it a bit more. Keep reading, get it a bit more, that type of thing. Our grasping at this inherent existence is a fundamental mistaken perception that we must eliminate through meditation practices of the wisdom path. Why? Because it is the root cause of all of our misery. Wow. Okay, let's take that seriously. Our grasping at this inherent existence is a fundamentally mistaken perception that we must eliminate through meditation practices of the wisdom path. Why? Because it is the root cause of all our misery. It lies at the core of all our afflictive emotions. Right, just briefly, which this is the bit I get. So, for example, you've got a mind of anger. You feel really fucking angry. And that person that you're angry with is inherently existent. They are what you think they are. They do deserve what you want to give them. They have done everything, and it's very solid, this object that you've created, or, you know, not just created, this object that's appeared with all its different aspects. You look at it and you think, no, this is definitely it. And because you feel that that's very solid, you can really ramp up all the anger. The anger comes right up and it feels completely justified. I'm not going to go into details about whether it is or not, but let's just pretend you've got the wrong end of the stick. So, obviously, then what happens is you maybe find out a bit more information that breaks down this inherent view of the other. I think, oh, well, that person had this going on, had that going on. And that breaks it down so that this solid person in front of you breaks down. So you can't be as angry. But if you started out like that, thinking this person is not this solid person I'm perceiving, on a more profound level even than just what caused their behaviour, you would not get as angry from the start. So, like I keep saying, Buddhism is circles within circles within circles within circles, and the big circles tend to reflect and repeat all the way through to the more subtle circles. You have to see the patterns. We can abandon this illusion of an essential quality only by cultivating its direct antidote, which is the wisdom that realizes the non-existence of that quality. Again, we cultivate this profound wisdom as we cultivate humility in order to uproot our pride. We must first become familiar with the improper way we perceive ourselves and other phenomena. We can then cultivate a correct perception of phenomena. Initially, this perception will be intellectual, as in the kinds of understanding one achieves through study or listening to teachings. To deepen this perception requires the more sustained meditation practices described in Chapter 11, Calm Abiding, Chapter 12, the 9 stages of calm abiding meditation, and Chapter 13, Wisdom. Only then is the perception able to truly affect our view of ourselves and other things. By directly realizing our lack of inherent nature, we uproot the very basis of the self-grasping that lies at the core of all our suffering. Right. So the core of all our suffering is quite complex. So as well as seeing someone as out there as solid, like not seeing their parts, just seeing the solid, we have the strong sense of I. All of these things are mental projections, because if you look at them, that breaks down, are you your finger, are you your eye? Which bit of you could you lose before you're not there? There's all that type of stuff. So this is where Buddhism for me becomes incredibly interesting. It's just so interesting. Developing wisdom is a process of bringing our minds into accordance with the way things really are. Through this process, we gradually remove the incorrect perceptions of reality we have had since beginningless time. This is not easy. Merely understanding what is meant by the inherent or intrinsic existence of things demands much study. Right. It uses very schooly terms, study, blah, 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 but it's not like that. It's like, you know, like, you just work out, this isn't right. Like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And then you start thinking, right, I'll read. And then what you find later on is that you need the books and stuff to just remind you, because we're so entrenched and like absorbed into our way of doing things from when we were a kid or from whatever reason. And then you have to sometimes reread the books just to think, oh yeah, that's right. Because like I do understand a little bit about emptiness, but I can't hold it for very long. I don't. And then when I sit down to meditate, I think, oh, there's no worth in this, blah, blah, blah. What's the point of it? But then I'll read it again and I'll be like, wow, this stuff is potentially very interesting. This is not easy. Merely understanding what is meant by the inherent or intrinsic existence of things demands much study and contemplation. Recognizing that things have no inherent existence is a profound insight, requiring years of study and meditation. Or it doesn't. But it does too. I think you can pretty much grasp the idea, you know, pretty much straight away that a pen is only a pen because all the bits come together to make a pen and then we impute pen on it. Because like with a car, you take the engine out of a car, is it a car? You put the wheels on the car, is it a car? You know, you need all those bits to make it what we then project as car. So I think, but recognising it in everything you see, that's a different thing, because we go around and we start reverting back. Recognizing that things have no inherent existence is a profound insight requiring years of study and meditation. We must begin by familiarizing ourselves with these notions, which just means thinking about it, meditating on it. Am I right? Am I wrong? Checking it out. We must begin by familiarizing ourselves with these notions, which we shall explore further later in this book. For the moment, however, let us return to the method aspect in order to explore the idea of compassion. We're at 8 minutes. So the next chapter is chapter 7, and it is called Compassion. So let's stop there for now.